Good morning, good afternoon. This is the second day for the QUASI seminar for senior high school. Thank you for your listening and thank you again for your cooperation. Today we have the part 2, which is entitled Revisiting the Types of Research, because today is January 15, 2023, and that is Sunday. I know that is family day, but because of our commitment to education, to learners, to our teaching tasks, we are supposed to attend our family needs. But because of this quasi seminar workshop, by the way, at the end of this video, I would like you to make a simple research or form of action research so that we can present to us later on. Okay? So let us have the definition first of research before we go to the different types according to their elements or classification. So research is an act of reflecting or examining our actions. This is a normal or usual act. Rationally human being always concerned with making conditions, things and processes never stops because education is also part of research. So there are two main approaches. Of course, we know that there are broad types of research. We have the qualitative and the quantitative research. Qualitative entails the description, the quality of the paper, while the quantitative involves the mathematical aspects, the inferential method. Okay? Now, there are classification according to Ramos, the different types and classification research. First, I would like to present to you the types. Okay? We have the first one is according to purpose, then according to goal, according to the level of investigation, according to type of analysis, according to choice of answers, according to time element, and statistical content. Now let's go first to purpose. According to purpose, the first one is what you call prognostic or predictive. From the word predict, outcomes, predicting outcomes. Okay? This type of research proposes to give the result from one specific educational practice or pattern and seeks to establish a close statistical connection between characteristics of the subjects and prediction of the educational outcome. And then we have directive. A researcher determines what should be done based on the findings to remedy an satisfactory condition. Eliminative, concerned with interaction of the components of the variable being investigated. Interaction between components of educational systems and subjects' characteristics and its educational consequences. Most often, good researchers combine prognostic, directive, and eliminative processes to come up with useful quality researches. This, This makes research works novel and relevant. Now that is according to purpose. So we have prognostic or predictive, directive or illuminative. According to goal, this is basic or pure research done for the development of theories and principles. It is conducted for the intellectual pleasure of learning, much found in psychology and sociology, while applied research is the application of the results of your research. This is testing the efficacy of theories and principles. According to level of investigation, this is exploratory, implies variables pertinent to specific situation. Descriptive studies the relationship of the variables, while experimental entails the effects of the variables and the causes on each other. Type of analysis. We have analytical, attempts to identify and isolate the components of the research situation. Holistic begins with the total situation, focusing attention on the systems first and then on internal relationships. While choice of answers, we have evaluative and developmental. So the possible actions that are specified and identified on the research tries to find the most advantageous. While developmental, you have to develop a more suitable instrument or process that has been available. While statistical content, it was already mentioned that the broad types of research classified into two, the quantitative and the qualitative. In the quantitative, you may have the comparison, the cause and effect, the relationships, simply in science base, while the qualitative entails ethnographic, anthropological studies, and then we have the primary, secondary, and even tertiary sources of information that do not use quantitative analysis. For time element, we have historical, describe what was happened, what was the history, what is all about. Descriptive, you just describe what is being studied. And then experimental, you describe what will be, predict the outcomes. That is also experimental. Okay? Those are the types of research according to. So you have to choose one of each type and then try to construct your research paper at the end of this period. For hindrances to scientific investigation, the first hindrance or obstacle or what we call shortcomings in research is tradition. In the tradition, we have hinders that the scientific investigation, restrictions on what to research is what not to explore. For example, the beliefs, practices, the superstitions, the customs. Sometimes the tribal groups do not like to study those. Then we have authority. How do you get the cooperation of the authority, the high position in the government? Sometimes they always what entails the what we call Privacy Act, the Information Dissemination Act, something like that. Then inaccurate observation. Then we have overgeneralization, selective observation, made up information, illogical reasoning is attributing something without any logical basis. Ego, someone finds himself in unfavorable circumstances. Then mystification, dogmatism. Now, simple scientific research needs objectivity. systematic organization, rigorous standards. But then scientific is always scientific research, is always requires solutions to specified problems. Not all problems are researchable, but be sure to use S specific, A measurable, A attainable, R ready bound, ready to gather information, and time bound, ready to, okay? Smart, specific, measurable, attainable, ready to gather information, and then time bound. Is it in long term or is it in short term? Now, if it's a long term, you need different elements, different resources. But if you only need short term, then we have only short term resources also. Now, research may be not a problem. Your interest will define query, something like that. Rigorous and broader. Research is done to make a contribution to general knowledge. It concerns with phenomenon, recurrent phenomenon, application through generalization, where problem solving needs sometimes scientific method, commitment to solve but not the act of research activity. Once the problem is solved, that is the solution. In mathematics, for example. So there is always a differences. Research, according to Kuyen, relates further that employs empirical statements and empirical methods. An empirical statement is defined as descriptive statement about what is happening in the real world rather than what should happen or what ought to be. Moreover, this empirical statement are expressed in numerical or mathematical terms or the use of statistics. So as I said, you have to construct or formulate your research paper according to different types of research, and then you're going to present that individually, online or in person, and then you give me a hard copy for that later on for the purpose of accomplishing our workshop for this seminar. For those who are interested to register as member of the Society of Filipino Authors, this is advertisement. We are we are having our meeting on 27th of this month, January 2023. But I don't have any yet the program, but perhaps we can have a communication earlier than 23 or next week, January 20 to 23 already, so that the Commission on Higher Education will approve the memorandum run to all interested. Okay? Those who are interested, please feel free to contact or to search my account here or express your interest. Just text me at 0953 03 85139. Thank you for listening again and see you for the next meeting. For the next follow up seminar, I could have schedule, but I I have a proposed schedule on February already for follow up. Yes, how to make proposal also and how to defend this paper. All right. So I will give you tips on how to make defense simple, concise, comprehensive, and complete in itself. Okay. As I said, thank you very much and have a good day. Happy research making for everyone. Thank you very much. And this is again a research. Thank you.